Hi guys. I'm rocking my koozie from my friend Paige. Paige the Framer, go check her out. I am also drinking Spotted Cow. You can only get this shit in Wisconsin, yo. I just so happen to have a beer mule, AKA my friend Diana. And she's so awesome, she doesn't even drink beer. And offered to bring me back some. Thanks. Hello, and welcome to Chevy Rel's Stuff. I'm your host, Chevy Rel, and I completely copied that entire intro from Amy Beth, who's the Fat Squirrel Speaks. The only reason I said it is because you know how many times when I've started my podcasts that's what I've wanted to say because I'm so used to hearing her say it. And I don't think she'll mind because it was many years ago now, probably 7-ish. I could be way off on that I met her for like 5 minutes, and once in a while she'll like one of my photos on Instagram, and we totally live in the same state, so that makes us besties, right? Right? Or I'm totally creepy. This is Chevy Rel's Stuff. If you don't know who I am, I always put a little eye up here. I have an introduction video. Welcome to any new subscribers, which I do believe that there are some of those. Of course, always thanks to everyone who decides to come back to this shit show. So grab yourself a drink. Let's get started. As many of you know, last week, today's Friday, the 26th. Last week, like the week before, so like the 13th to the 21st or something, I was in Mexico. And I bet that you're all trying to like figure out how I kept my vampiric pale translucent skin. That's called SPF 100, baby. Almost 2 bottles of it. We'll talk more about Mexico later. So let's start out with FOs. Obviously, I have one on my head. I don't know if y'all remember this, but this is the I'm liking this hat. I feel like I'm having to slouch.
Let me. Better? No? I don't know.
This hat is Leading Men Fiber Arts, Polwarth, in their Puffin colorway. It is hand spun. Check out my gray hair. I get my roots did on Tuesday. Look at that. I grow glitter, y'all. That's my superpower. This is I'm liking this hat. Hand spun, right? Didn't that turn out cool? This, you guys, it was fun. It was fun. It's like a Kitchener, it's a free pattern. So I'm allowed to tell you. You Kitchener these top stitches, and then you do this cable, and there's some holding the yarn in the back type stuff. It was fun and super fast. So highly recommend this pattern. It's by Gretchen Tracy. Gretchen Tracy, I remembered. And I've been wearing the crap out of it. It's squishy and awesome, and I'm so glad that it is cold weather again. My next FO, which you guys probably also will know is happening, my second in the Light Shawl. You guys have been rocking that KAL. Rocking it. So here is my mom's. I'm giving this to my mom. That's what I meant by my mom's. It is washed and blocked. I did a picot edging, which I could wear it, right? I mean, my knits aren't gonna match, but who gives a hoot? I don't wanna match. I totally wanna be, you know those little kids that are just learning to get dressed? I feel like I've already said this on here. Those little kids who are just learning how to get dressed, and they come out in like plaids and stripes and whatever, and their shoes are on the wrong feet and they have different socks on, and their parents are like, whatever, that's what she wanted to wear. I always love it when I see those little kids in the grocery store. I'm like, first off, you're gonna have your own style, which is awesome. And second, high five to the parents for not giving a shit what other people think and letting their kid be their kid. You do you. You do you. I don't care if you're 3. I'm gonna be that old lady in the home with the like big feather boa and the rhinestone glasses and the purple hair. I'm just calling it now. And the tattoos that are like melting down my body. That's gonna be me. Come say hi if you see me there. This is, for all of you who do not know, the In the Light Shawl by Day-Crosier. I'm sorry for those of you who do know, this is probably the 985,000th time you've heard this, but we have new viewers. Welcome. We as in Lacey from the Knitted Cupcake podcast, and I are currently having a knit along for this shawl. It's by Day-Crosier. It's a paid for pattern, and it is over on October 31st, which by the time you see this, hopefully I will have it up no later than Sunday. I think that's like Thursday. So you're only going to have a few days left. But it's potato chippy and super fast, so if you're close to the end, I have faith that you will get it finished. Hashtag it in the light KAL FO. I will be drawing from that hashtag on Instagram for prizes. Real quick, this one for my mom, I'm just gonna say it again. This color is Life in the Long Grass Afterglow. The middle color, which is getting really washed out. Oh wait, it's this one. This is Garden Party. And then this last one, also by Life in the Long Grass. And then this last one is Atomic Fibers in her Magic Potion colorway. This one for my mom is a single and drapey and wonderful. And I think that she's totally gonna dig the Pico edge. And I'm gonna wear it until the next time I see her. Because as those of you who've been watching for a while know, my mamacita lives like an hour away over into Ohio. So it'll be a minute before I see her, so I'll get to enjoy it until then. Back to the KAL. I want to give you all of October 31st, just in case there's some of you who are going to get in by the skin of your teeth. So you know I do my drawings old school. For you new viewers, I don't use random number generators. I totally draw from a hat, and I usually get some family member or some other person to draw them for me because I think it's fun. So who knows who's gonna draw for it? I don't know. It's gonna be a surprise. But sometime on November 1st, I am going to take all the names from the hashtags, and sometime on November 1st, I am going to go through all the hashtags. So if you just happen to finish the morning of November 1st and I have not gotten to that part yet, like if I'm busy at work, it might take me till lunch. I don't know. You might squeak in. However, technically the knit along is over October 31st, but I want you to have the whole shebang. We have prizes, people.
Prizes.
First, Day-Crosier, the designer of this wonderful awesomeness, has donated 4, count them, 4 separate patterns. So I will be doing 2. If you hear any noise in the background, it's because Dan is freaking amazing. And while I'm recording, he's mopping the floor and cleaning the house in the other room. There will be 4 names drawn, and you each get to pick one of Casey's patterns as your prize. We all know my girl Melissa, I'm scared that if I open this, it's not gonna close again. Yeah, I don't wanna open it. They are stitch markers and a progress keeper. That's a little fairy and a little star with a bead. And that is Melissa Malloy, and she is Knitty by Nature. I've talked about her stitch markers quite a bit on this podcast. And then along with that, I am going to give one of my Chevirel Stuff needle gauges. And it is also wraps per inch, and you can use these little slits as a bobbin holder. So that's one prize. Next prize is also a needle gauge thingy and another, not stitch marker, I always say it wrong, progress keeper from Melissa, except this one, it's actually a progress keeper and 2 stitch markers. Look! I don't remember, mine's over there. I don't know if you remember when I bought mine, but that's how long I've had this, that I've been saving it for you guys. So you can't really see in there, but they're little like star glittery things. The next prize, you guys, it's one of my all-time favorite things in the whole wide world. It's a ball sack from Steel City Stitcher. Roberta, my girl Roberta. You also get a little stitch marker with a 4-leaf clover and one of her buttons. And this has birds on it. Birds of a feather flock together. The last prize, if any of you watch my Instagram stories, you'll have seen this sneak peek. Helen from Pretty Funky Fibers hand dyed you guys a skein of yarn. For those of you who are not familiar with Pretty Funky Fibers, she is from flippin' Ireland. Look at this. This came all the way from Ireland, people. Ireland, look at that. Now, well, there's lots of cool things about this, but one of the cool things about it is her labels. I don't know if you can see those little specks in there. They're seeds, you plant them. Totally. Well, I guess I can tell you what it is. It says, please plant this label in your garden, which she gave me a little something, something. And it also has one of these labels. And I'm going to attempt to plant it. And I'll show it on the podcast. We'll see if it grows for me because I have a black thumb, totally. This colorway is Voodoo, Hoodoo, You Do. And it's 100% superwash Polwarth fingering weight, 100 grams, 400 meters. Let me show you what she sent for me. Not that she had to send me anything, but how awesome is it that it came from Ireland? And look at it. Oh, I can open mine. I'm used to like keeping things in the package. You guys, first off, here's my label. I don't know if you can see the little seeds. This is Ambrosius because, you know, Labyrinth, hello. Ambrosius. That's the dog for all of you who aren't ginormous dork Labyrinth fans like I am. You guys. Oh my gosh. Okay. This fluffy cloud of awesomeness is almost too pretty to spin. I don't have any bats. I mean, I've spun okay, I lied. I can't wear this. It is so hot. Or I'm getting warm. You guys get me all flustered. I have spun multiple bats, but I don't have any in stash right now. I can't decide what I want to do with this. Part of me wants to spin it on my spindle, my Turkish, because why not? But bats love to be art yarn. They love it. So I'm thinking, what's the fiber content? Merino? Shut up. Merino and banana? Is that what that says? Am I reading that right? Banana? Y'all know something I don't know. Can you spin banana? Is that like flax? Helen, educate me. Serious? No. That's what it looks like. Okay, 2 ounces. So here's what I'm thinking. Since it's merino and it doesn't say superwash, I think that I want to do a single and full it. And for those of you who are not spinners, when you full something, it's like felting it a little bit. So you don't felt it all the way, but you felt it enough for the single to stick together and not fall apart. I can't stop touching this, and I'm rubbing it all over myself. I'm probably going to be covered in fiber. But thank you so much, Helen. This is going to go on the wheel very, very soon. And I am going to plant this. I'll show y'all. Promise. I'm not going to promise that it lives, but I'm going to try. Dan might have to step in because like some of you who have been longtime viewers know, my post-apocalyptic life skill is clothing us. Someone's going to have to feed me because I cannot grow anything or kill anything. It's just not in my repertoire. It's not one of my fortes. It's not a skill in which I have been blessed.
Next.
Whips. Whips are next. Let me find one. I have to tell you, because of Mexico, I did not get a lot done. Like at all. However, you all heard that I was going to start the Airlies pattern by Julie Bray, right? Right. I said those were going to be my Mexico socks.
Actually, did I say that on the podcast? I might not have said that on the podcast. Well, now I don't remember.
I've had a lot of tequila since then. If I didn't say it, my whole plan was to knit the Airlies socks on my Mexico vacation. I then posted 3 separate skeins of yarn on Instagram and the people voted. But then Julie, who is the designer, chimed in and picked one. So when the designer of the pattern chimes in and picks a yarn, like you kind of got to go with it, right? Malabrigo sock in the Turner colorway won. And I can't remember what the content is. I think it's merino and nylon. That is a complete total guess. I am housing my Airlies socks in my bag from Miss Julia from Australia. I don't know if y'all remember her. She sent this to me back when we did the birdies for Tommy. And I love owls, especially barn owls, because David Bowie, Jareth, my boyfriend. I have to admit that while it was sad that David Bowie died, I was probably sad for completely different reasons than most of the population. When David Bowie died, it killed any inkling of a chance for a Labyrinth remake. So I'm going to go off on a tangent here. I did look online about like a remake, because they're remaking all these movies and a lot of them are absolutely terrible. But if they did anything about Labyrinth, I would totally watch it, even if it was a remake. It would scare the crap out of me that they would ruin it. But I like it when they come at it from a different angle. One of the forums that I was reading regarding potential Labyrinth, another Labyrinth movie, not a sequel, not a remake, someone actually said that, and I can't, it's been so long ago now, I don't remember, but the storyline, I don't know if somebody was like throwing it out there, if it was just a suggestion, if it's actually been talked about, I don't know. But somewhere online I read doing a movie based on Jareth becoming Jareth. So pre-Labyrinth. But the casting for that movie would have to be, I mean, how do you fill those shoes, yo? Obviously, he would be younger, a younger Jareth. But there's so much room for error in that casting. I don't even care. I'd still watch it. You know, we would all be there. The Labyrinth lovers. I'm just saying. Not everybody is fully aware of my love of Labyrinth, nor have they been watching the show for very long. So let me, because new subscribers, let me show you just how much I love it. Oop. Right. You get it. That's Ambrosius right there. Now that I've gone off on that tangent, let's get back to the socks, shall we? This is the Turner colorway. I knit all of my socks 2 at a time, typically toe up. Sorry, Ditto is right here because Dan is cleaning and mopping the floor and he has the gate up, and Ditto can't stand the fact that he is locked out of this room because, you know, it's the stuff room. And Dan has the gate up so that he can't go into the living room because he's mopping. So he's just standing out here crying instead of playing with the plethora of toys that are all laying right there on the floor. This is the Turner Colorway Malabrigo sock. I purchased this at Simply Socks Yarn Company. And these are the Airlies socks patterned by Julie Bray. Aren't they fun? Look at that texture. Oh, that's what I was saying. I typically do 2 at a time, toe up, fish lips, kiss heel, Jenny's surprisingly stretchy bind off. That's like my vanilla, typical, like if I just want to throw some socks on. But I also enjoy following patterns. So I'm doing these 2 at a time, but these are top down. So the back does not have the textured pattern on it. It's just the front, which I like because then you get to see that pretty color. Now, the front, I don't know if you guys remember those fingerless mitts I knit my cousin that I still haven't given her in the pashmina. Hold on, because they're right here. I think they were called Sanjay mitten or whatever. Okay, they are not the same, but similar. They have a similar sort of picky uppy stitchy thing, which it is a paid for pattern. If anybody can differentiate what a picky uppy stitchy thing is from that, then high five. Similar. The reason that I'm even saying that is because, as you guys remember, I loved this pattern. It was fun. I enjoyed it, much like I am enjoying these. It is one of those patterns that keeps you just enough engaged, but not enough that you can't, knit when you're talking to other people, or you don't have to think about it. I can knit on these when I'm tired, yada, yada. Now, it doesn't look like I've gotten very much done. And the reason for that is I started them on our hour-and-a-half bus ride to our Tulum excursion in Mexico when I was extremely hungover and I kind of got a little sick, so I had to put them away. I was going to knit on them on the plane ride home from Cancun, and all over the forums it said that you will get your needles confiscated because Cancun airport is different than American airports like TSA. Some people said absolutely not. They got taken away. They were mad, yada, yada. Then there were other people who said that they threw a fit, and like that person went to a higher up and the higher up said it was okay. And then afterwards, I had a bunch of people comment on Instagram that they go back and forth all the time and they don't have a problem. But I wasn't going to chance it. I shoved all my knitting in my checked bag. And then when we got to Chicago, and Chicago to Fort Wayne is like 54-minute flight, I grabbed these out. So I did get to knit on them for a little bit, but that's why they haven't seen very much love. I did also knit on the, oh no, I take it back. That's a complete lie. I mean, obviously not a lie on purpose. I cast these on Sunday. No, I cast these on the plane to Cancun. What I started on now I remember, it's all foggy, tequila. I cast these on the plane ride there and got the cuff done. And then on the bus ride to Tulum is when I started the pattern. So I had the cuffs finished and I started the pattern on that bus ride. I'm enjoying it a lot. It's seen some of the world. My next whip is my Franken socks. And these have changed a lot since the last time you've seen them. And I think that I will stand by. Don't have part of my paperwork. Oh, I always try to be so prepared. I'm back. You know how I said that Dan was cleaning the living room, which is awesome. He put the couch in the kitchen and like cleaned under the couch and found a bunch of stitch markers, dog toys and all that stuff. But when he pushed the couch into the kitchen, it has these big, like they're this tall and like that wide rectangle feet. And I guess the plastic was rotted and busted into a million pieces. So now he is having to make new feet for the couch. That was not part of the plan. Back to my Franken socks. These are socks that I'm making up sort of as I go. I had a plan. I've done a few things with these. I did my normal toe. This yarn is by the Miller Girls. It did not have a colorway, and I can't remember the fiber content. I'm sure I've said it umpteen times. And I've always wanted to put a brioche band in. I wear clogs a lot, and I thought that that would be like squishy and fun in clogs. Then I've always wanted to try a garter stitch heel. The last time you saw these, I was right there. So on both of them, I have put in, I've gotten this far, put in the heel, and I'm up to the leg. You know, I normally do 2 at a time, but this part is what started me on these socks in the first place, why I even started making them. In my brain, I was on the hunt for a cream with, well, cream or white or some. I wanted mostly white with just a few speckles. And this is as close as I could find up at Allegan. That was sort of on my list at Allegan. There is a store called Natural Life or something like that. It's like a teeny bopper hippie store. They have like inspirational hippie boho quotes and stuff. I'm on their email list. I like their stuff. And they have these socks. I loved them. And I thought, I wonder if I could knit those. So I'm gonna try. I am this far. Because there's a little bit of color work in them, I took them off 2 at a time. And the reason that I've done them, what do they call that? A lot of knitters do this like simultaneously knitting or congruently or something like that. The only reason I did it is because this color, it just dawned on me. I ordered a mini for this color and it was supposed to be here today, and I was all mad because it didn't come to work, and then I completely forgot that I had checked the shipping and it came to the house. So it's out in my mailbox right now. I'm gonna go get it. Okay. I go days without checking the mailbox because we never get anything of importance here, and everything that I order, I usually have sent to work. For some reason, when I ordered this off Etsy, I wasn't paying attention, and it came, I had my home address chosen. Okay, this is from Llady Llama Fiber Co. Llady with 2 L's, like llama. Oh, and she taped it real good. Ha! Oh, I hope I didn't rip any. Oh, no, I didn't. It's just a mini. Let's see. Oh, I got a pin. Aww. Isn't it cute? The llama has a spindle, you guys. That's adorable. And I'll add my pin to my sock blocker that Carrie gave me. A little note. I like it when people handwrite notes. I think that's nice. Thank you so much for your order. I hope you enjoy your wee skein. Happy crafting, Kelly. Here it is, peeps. Where's my thing? My thingy, where to go? That's not it. Oh, that's pretty damn spot on, don't you think? I mean, not that it has to be spot on, but hell yeah. Okay, so as I was saying, the reason that they're like this is because I went as far as I could before this color was next. Then I did a chart on Excel, which I need to readdress the chart because, like I said, I made this chart way back, like at Allegan. Obviously, I have to add the leaves, and I need to reprint it. I've already altered it. I've added some rows just because I could tell when I was knitting it that I wanted those. Okay, so we have the blue, the green, and then I'll do that same pink on the inside. But here is, well, first off, this orange is one of the minis that I got at Allegan, as well as that green that I got at Allegan. So this will be the stripe, and then here's my blue. And there'll be a little dot of pink in there. So what do you guys think? Are you as excited as I am to see if those flowers even work? I don't know. We shall see. And I am keeping that in my round robin bag. Let me just show off this bag right quick. It has this nifty little tag. Isn't it cute? Isn't it cute? But wait for it. What? I've shown you this already. I'm dropping shit. Jesus. It turns into like a little bucket. Oh, isn't that awesome? Okay. Oh, back to this. I just grabbed this bag. Look at her tags, you guys. So this is on the little, what the mini came in. On the inside, she has little checklists. So the colorway name is Copper. The base is her Leap, which is 80/20 superwash merino nylon in her wee 20-gram ball. Total yardage 80, and its dye technique is a semi-solid. And then it says rinsed with a touch of lavender oil. Huh? Just smells like yarn fumes to me. I love that smell. We recommend gentle hand washing in cold water with your favorite wool wash and drying flat in order to maximize the life of your creation. Although you may machine wash, gentle on cold and air fluff to dry. Happy crafting. And there's even a little place for an invoice number. That's pretty slick. I love her llama, and her llama's wearing socks. Well, that was happy. First time order. Thank you, Kelly. Okay, next I'm going to talk about a couple fails. My Sous Sous sweater, I feel guilty about. It's not a fail. I just mean that I failed to do any knitting on it. The back piece, which is finished and everything, is laying right here in the same spot it was the last time I guys showed you. I have not knit anything on it, and I am going to make a point to knit on it. It's one of those things I've said before, it is a product knit, not a process knit. Double moss stitch is, I was going to say unenjoyable. It's not unenjoyable. It's just slow. So you feel like you've knit for a long time, but you're not seeing the results, especially when the piece is this wide and there's umpteen stitches on it. I do have another fail as well. Thank you to everyone who told me the correct pronunciation of this pattern. It is not scintillation, as hilarious as that is. Apparently that is scintillation. It will always be scintillation in my book because I think that's hilarious. My friend Tori has a baby. She was doing a Halloween costume, did a Halloween costume, has done a Halloween costume for her little one and asked to do stars. I wanted to make them. It sounded amazing. My brother is also having a baby. I thought that it would be super cute to have a little mobile. And yeah, no, that's a negative. It's a complete negative. Here's my star right there. Look at that. I totally ripped it out. I got to the one side and I didn't get it, and I took it. I have no idea what I did. I took it to knitting, and my friend Diana has made them already, and she said they're a little fiddly when you're first doing it, but yada yada. So I'm like, will you please look at this and tell me what I'm doing? And she's like, first off, somehow you're 3 stitches off. And I was like, she's like, do you want me to rip it out? I'm like, yes, just, I'm done. I'm done. I'm so sorry, Tori. I am a failure. I will, though, get a picture, if Tori will allow me, of Ren in her costume because it sounds adorable. And I feel like a big jerk for not contributing because I said I was going to, but I failed. And it's so weird because I knit the even star. There's like a bazillion charts and 3,000 beads on that pattern of lace weight lace work. And I could knit it. And I can't knit a bulky star that's this big. Like, maybe I'll try again someday, but not feeling it. That is all the knitting. That is all I have. I was going to talk about Mexico. We are very far into this. I don't know if anyone will care or not. I think I'm going to run through it. And here's the thing. This is a very long podcast already for not having very much knitting. So if y'all want to hit it, peace out. I know some people like long episodes, and I've had viewers say like I'd watch 2-hour episode. I watch 2-hour episodes, but at the same time, sometimes I'm in like a spot where I don't have the time commitment to watch the entire thing, and I want to. So I'll let you decide. If you want to come back and hear a little bit about Mexico, feel free to do so. This is not going to be a recap of my vacation. This is, in typical Chevis fashion, going to be a history lesson. First off, just to get the little details out of the way, we went to an all-inclusive resort. It was our very first time ever at an all-inclusive resort. While I was there, I had the pleasure of meeting Emily, who is now, no joke, going to be a lifetime friend. She was awesome. I came out and I was saying something about knitting, and she was in like our same pool, and she was like, hold on, I heard knitting, I'm a knitter, my people, I heard knitting. We find each other. For those of you who follow me on Instagram, I posted a picture of us. We hung out. She's awesome. She lives in New York City. She's a tech editor. She designs patterns. We had a blast. She was down there for a wedding. It was so rad. What I'm going to talk about outside of what I just said is going to be our excursion. An excursion, for any of you who don't go to all-inclusive resorts, is you can pay to take a day excursion. There's all sorts of different kinds of excursions you can take, and we chose Tulum. It's Mayan ruins, and it is very historical. It's basically just like old buildings that are falling down, and it gets a gazillion vacationers every year that go and visit it. The cool thing about it, seeing it in person, is just knowing how old it is. So that's what I'm going to talk about. If y'all are interested, stick around. I did some research on their textiles. We visited a cenote. I was going to tell you a little bit about those if you don't know what cenotes are. Tulum is a city of Mayan ruins that is in the Yucatan Peninsula on the Caribbean Sea. Its height was between the 13th and 15th century, And even after the Spanish arrived, they still managed to stick around for 70 plus years. Much like the Indians, the American Indians, the Europeans brought with them old world diseases and people could not fight them off. Thank you to the Europeans. The city was originally called Zama, which means City of Dawn, because the city faces the sunrise. It's right on the water and it was a major trading port and it was surrounded by walls. The reason that it was surrounded by walls is because it was also sort of the first point of invasion. So the walls kind of, if they were invaded, the walls kept them from the people. So inside the walls were all of your warriors and higher ups, and outside the walls were, I want to say peasants, and that's not the right word, just like your standard population, just the good old normal working folk. The reason that they started calling it Tulum is because, instead of Zama, is because Tulum means wall or fence in Mayan. And then it just sort of stuck after that. Our tour guide for the excursion was named Eduardo and said that we could call him Eddie, which I know Eduardo, so I felt comfortable calling him Eduardo, but everybody called him Eddie. He was very informative on a lot of things. However, to that point, I don't believe that he ever had a fiber lover in his midst. Because I didn't want to be that annoying person on the tour and ask a bunch of questions and make it longer. So at the end of his spiel, I went up to him and asked if he knew anything about their textiles. He knew nothing. He said that the only thing he did know was the name of the, and I don't know it, I should know it, I read it, but the word didn't stick. The only thing he did know was the name of whatever the garment, like the Mayan word for whatever the garment that the ladies wore, and the dudes just wore like loincloths. Well, I wanted to know, like, I assume, because it's hot down there, there's not going to be wool. I assumed that it would be cotton and some sort of plant, maybe like a flax. He said that there were a bunch of old Mayan guys there and he was going to ask them, but I think he forgot. He never came back. I just figured that I would do the research on my own. So the Mayan people had two different types of cotton to work with. One was white and one was brown. The process to prep it was extremely cumbersome. Not only did they have to wash it, but they had to hand pick out the seeds. The women who prepped it, it said typically women who prepped it, also needed to know how to weave, how to embroider, how to tie-dye, and brocade, which looked like some sort of embroidery. I just Googled pictures of it. It looked very intricate. Memory there. They had 2 or 3 different types of natural dyes that they used, but I didn't really research any further than that. They also worked with a fiber called magui. It's Maguey, and it was also called malamur, which is M-A-L-A, second word, M-U-E-R. That was a succulent plant that, to me, resembles agave. So I was sort of right. It was cotton and a plant. Now, the maguey, however you say that word, you know, I suck at pronunciations. They also spun that with other things, like animal hair, people hair, feathers, and other vegetable fibers like milkweed, which I thought was really interesting because we have milkweed here. That fiber of the plant that looks like agave, because I can't say the name, that was used mainly for like cordage is the word that they use, and it's like hammock and ropes and nets, and because they slept in hammocks. That's how they slept in their homes. They slept in hammocks, which I thought was kind of cool. And it also made like bags and horse gear, things like that. Now, they spun this on spindles, which I think is awesome. I wanted to show you guys a picture. That was a Mayan spindle. I'm like, how in the hell does that work? So I'm going to include a link to a video in the show notes. I kind of want to try it. It looks fun. They also had 2 different kinds of looms. One was a foot loom and one is called a backstrap loom. When the Europeans came and they started doing a lot of trading, they had treadle looms. Before I mentioned that they had access to 3 natural dyes, today they actually use chemical dyes for a couple reasons. They, one, liked the brighter colors. They hold, of course, better, and they really like the colors. And the other thing that they said is because they would rather spend their time making the items than doing all the work that was necessary to prep for the natural dyes and then have to make the items. So they kind of liked the ease of the chemical dyes and the brightness of their colors. This sounds really bad, and I like it's bitchy of me maybe. I don't mean for it to be bitchy of me, but for me personally, in my opinion, I think that I would have gotten more out of a documentary on Tulum than I did physically being there. There were a lot of tourists there. Everybody was talking. It was hard to hear the tour guide. There was a little bit of, not a language barrier, but an accent. So when he was, you know, talking soft and somebody else was talking behind you, or he was talking and his back was to you while he was looking at a building, it was sort of hard to hear everything. While it was cool to be there in person, I'd be cool with seeing it on a documentary. Some like aerial views of the buildings, I would have been fine with that. The coolest thing that I thought about being there in person is there's iguana everywhere. It was awesome. Big ones and little ones, and you know, they blend right into the rocks. It's super cool. I love animals. Anytime there's wildlife, I'm all about it. After we left Tulum, we went to a cenote. Any of you who ever have a chance to go on an excursion, I highly recommend visiting a cenote. It's basically a sinkhole. It's a cave that has fallen in, it's limestone, and then there's water in the bottom. I know you've seen picture, I'll insert a picture so y'all can see what it looks like. They say that there's somewhere between 3,000 and 6,000 of them in the Yucatan Peninsula alone. The Mayans believed that the cenotes were sacred, and they also believed that they were the gateway to their underworld and that that's where their gods lived. So they held the cenotes in very high respect. I hope this isn't going to be too terribly long. I'm sure that I've lost many of you. Not everybody's into that kind of stuff, but I am. Like I said, I love to learn. I will wrap it up for the week. Real quick, some of the other reasons that I did not have a lot of knitting done. My world is busy, busy. Our world is busy, busy, busy. We have a Halloween party coming on Saturday that we still are not finished with our costumes. We have my brother's girlfriend, not my brother, is having a baby in April, and we're getting ready to do a gender reveal, and we're hosting a little mini get together to do that. So I've been planning for that. Those are just some other things in the world of Chevis and Dan that have been consuming our time. I hope you guys have a great week or couple to whatever until the next time I record. Feel free to like and subscribe. I'm always here for any questions. Yeah, I guess all that happy horse shit. Until next time, I almost forgot. I am going to go ahead in spirit of the season and put a little photo compilation at the end, if you care to watch. just of some Halloween costumes. It's a couple when I was little with my brother. Lots of them are adults with Dan and I. We do like Halloween very much. We have a lot of fun with it. And thought I'd share. I had them all together and I was like, I'll throw them in a video. So hope you guys enjoy. And until we meet again, cheers.